Hi, welcome to He Who Talks, episode point 5. Now, the reason I'm calling this point 5 is just because I just want to explain who I am, how I got here, and what my motive with this is, and really what I want to achieve in this podcast slash just little sit down talk. So my name's Hunter Carl. I am 21 years old. I live in Flemington, New Jersey. Now, it's quite a rural part, and it's alright, but it's by the farm. There's not much to do around here. My neighbors are never to be seen. I don't know them at all. I moved here around, I would say, 8 months ago. I moved here last September, and it's been a bit of a journey, honestly, living here and experiencing what it is to not be so close to your friends and your relatives, and just to kind of be alone in your own mind. So when I moved here back in September, I was happy with it. I wanted to get out of my small town, get away from all the problems it was giving me at the time, and we'll dive into those a little later, but it was definitely one of the biggest changes I've had in my life, and I could not be happier at this moment in time. It's definitely an accumulation of things. It's not just one it's not just one little thing that led to my life being the way it is today, but I kind of just wanted to sit down and explain how I got here and what this means for my future. So, about 3 years ago, back in 2016, I graduated from high school, Middlesex High School in Middlesex, New Jersey. Now, it was good. It was a good experience, high school. I would say I could have enjoyed it more, but as high school goes, you can't take back what you experienced, and it was good for the majority. But there were definitely some ups and downs, trying to find myself, whether that was through my whatever expression I wanted to portray to other people. That was a little bit of a difficult road to go down. And so I graduated then, and I went to start going to college. I wasn't sure where I wanted to go, honestly. I was thinking, oh, I'll go down to Florida or I'll go to Boston, and just leave this whole place, leave everyone behind. But I ended up going to a community college near me, and I learned a lot of things over there that have kind of shaped me to be who I am today. First being that community college, if any of you guys are going to go, it's definitely an interesting route to take. At first, I honestly enjoyed it, and it was a good time. I was close to home. I was 15 minutes away from the house at the time, and it couldn't be better in the sense that I go to class, then I come home, and then I just do whatever I want the rest of the day and go to work. Whatever I needed to do, I could get done, right? But the one thing you have to realize going to community college is that, as much as it is a good step, if you don't know what you want to do and you don't know where you want to go with yourself and your dreams and your goals, etc., it is something you really have to take into account, in the sense that you're missing out on a lot. When it came to the whole college experience, I have always been a big, advocate of it, and I still am, and I still will be to my kids, but I really do believe that when it comes down to it at the end of the day, I really do think that 95% of people should go to a 4-year. I really do believe that from the bottom of my heart. If you don't know what you want to do and you're really lost, community college is not a bad thing. But at the same time, I have to be real here. It kind of put me back to a point and to a place where I didn't want to be. And no matter how much I did or how much I aspired to do better in the school, it just didn't work for me. And it could work for you, and I know people, and I know certain people that it does work for, but unfortunately it just really didn't work for me. So I was an accounting major my first 2 years or so going in a community, and I took a half semester off at the time, and I don't think it was good for me, but I just did it just to do it. I'll have to go into that one day, but I realized at the end of it all, it just wasn't for me. And when I started in the accounting program, I honestly was so happy that I could find something that I'm very good at, and at least I think I am, at least, something that I could excel at, that, I could make a decent amount with, and hopefully one day have a wife and kids and be happy and just have a nice sedentary lifestyle, and not so much be a recluse, but at the same time, I would feel secure, and I wouldn't have to worry going from paycheck to paycheck. And that was one of those decisions and thoughts that ran through my head is, do I want to just get a degree to make money and to not have problems later in my life? And I was thinking about it, and I always thought about it, and I was like, you know what, yeah, I'll do it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I know at the end of the day, once I got my CPA, I can find a job, and I'll always be able to find a job, because obviously everyone needs an accountant. So I figured, what's the problem in that? Why don't I just do what I need to do and get it over with, right? And then I really had a strong realization about it maybe 6 months ago, that, and this is one of the hard things, one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make, and it's probably the hardest decision, and that was, I knew I didn't want to do it. I could get a degree in it, and if this is something I needed to fall back on, that's okay. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to my happiness and what I want to do with the rest of my life, it's just not it. I know this is going to sound tacky, right? But I honestly think that if I get to change people's mindsets, maybe not even change their mindsets, but be able to resonate with people on a different level and just be someone that's bigger than myself and bigger than my family, that I would be proud of that. And as a child, whether it was through YouTube, which I made videos on, and or Instagram or whatever it was, right? I always wanted to, not be famous necessarily, but be a personality. And that is what I think I can do. And it's going to take a while, and I know that. And that's why this is episode 0.5, is because I feel like I need to make something of myself, and I'm generally okay with talking in front of the camera, so I figured, why not try it, right? So when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, I sat myself down, and I went over my options and what I was doing at the time, And at that time, I had gone through a breakup with my girlfriend, right? And I was looking at life so negatively, and I just didn't know what to do with myself. It was one of those problems that I kept on having where I honestly just would sit in bed all day and weep and just be a recluse and not want to do anything because I just thought it was over. I thought that was the one thing that was carrying me through this accounting degree, and then I just lost it, right? But it took a few weeks, and one day, I just asked one of my friends if he wanted to go to New York, and his name is Ivan Mata, and I knew him in high school, knew him all my life since fourth grade, which is a majority of my time, right? And we were close senior year, junior, senior year, enough to a point, right? And then we lost kind of touch since we went to college. And that's okay. We all lose touch with our best friends and the people that we're closest to in high school because you're just on such a different, you're in a different world completely after you leave high school. It's a complete different world, right? And I just lost touch with him. And then one day we just went to New York, and I asked him to take a picture of me, right? Take a few pictures of me for Instagram. I figured, you know what? I want a good picture or two for my Instagram, and I figured I can get some gratification out of that, right? So I went to his house, and he gave me he gave me a few things to wear, and we went to the city and took some pictures, and that was an incredible feeling, unlike a feeling I've ever had before, because it honestly felt like, for the first time, like we started taking pictures, and I felt so in the zone and in my own place, and just it was very comforting, actually. And I know they're run-of-the-mill shots, but I honestly felt like at that moment in time I just was kind of happy, I saw them and I was like, wow, I wish I could do this more. So the following week comes, and we're just talking about it, and I post them a few days apart, and then we go to this Travis Scott concert. We went to Astroworld. That was unreal. If any of you guys ever get the chance, I would take it. It's really something else. It's like, it's a whole different type of excitement is Astroworld, and I'll get into that another episode. But I texted him, and I was like, let's try to do it again. And then we did another shoot, and then another one, and then another one, and it has just gotten so much better. We started on an iPhone, on my iPhone 10, and yeah, it's good, it's an iPhone, it's got a great camera, but it really wasn't capturing the entire moment in the entire scene. And then we started to use his D60, his Nikon D60, right? And pictures just started coming out so much better and raw and absolutely breathtaking. Some of these pictures we've taken, and we just mesh so well together, and that bond is something I haven't had with many people in my life, right? And there's definitely a few, and I'll have them on as guests over time, but I honestly have not had such a strong sense of comfort and understanding with someone as that kid, right? So we've been doing it, right? And I just thought to myself, after doing so many shoots with him, that I honestly could see myself doing this the rest of my life. Now, whether that's modeling or that's acting, which I've been getting into recently, and I'll get into that in a little bit, it's, it's something that it's going to start me off, and I'm going to get more creative as I go along. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to make me happy. And when I move out of Flemington and out of the farm, and away from everyone, I know I'm going to be happy with it. And that's something I've been having a hard time coming to terms with, is being happy and loving my life to an extent that, like, no matter what I do, right, with this passion that I have at the moment, it's something I want to put everything into. It's not, when I was younger, right, I made YouTube videos on this channel called H3 Productions, right? And they were Minecraft videos, as embarrassing as that is. Minecraft and Call of Duty videos, and I loved that shit at the time. Excuse my language, but I loved it. And I couldn't get enough of it, right? And I made maybe 15 videos in total, and I just couldn't continue with it because I didn't think that it would be fruitful in the end. I was getting 100 views a video maybe, and that just that instant gratification that we all seek, I just was not getting. Now, when I stopped, I just never thought about it again. And over the years, I would make other YouTube channels. I made a fitness YouTube channel at one point, and I made 2 videos, and that was about it. It never came to anything, but that was okay. And I think it just took a while and enough persistence for me to find something that I truly enjoy doing, whether that's YouTube, whether that's the modeling, the acting, whatever it is, right? Whatever passion or creative outlet that I could go to, I just never found it, right? But I have this yearning, this desire to do all I can with this, and no matter what situation comes up, I don't want to stop working at it. Every day I'm thinking and I'm creating and I'm writing things down in my journal because I just don't want to stop, and I don't want this to be something I never try, because if I never tried it, I would never know. And I think that's important with your goals as much as they are with mine. To people watching this right now, I really do believe, and I know this is the tackiest thing someone can say, but you really do have to chase whatever you want. It's not just going to come to you. You create 1 video a day. You do 1 shoot a week. You do 2 shoots a week. You do 3 shoots a week. You do 4 shoots a week. You do 5, right? And things start building up, and you'll notice it's not going to take 2 seconds. And I am at the beginning right now. And I know it's going to take a long time. But it's going to get there. And I don't know to what capacity. And I don't know when or where I'm going to be when things start to come in my favor. But it's going to happen, and you really have to believe that. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I enjoyed doing this. Just sitting down talking to the camera. This is a good thing. This was He Who Talks episode 0.5. Now, we're going to have the first episode, and that's going to be with my friend Yvonne. But that's going to come out in the near future, so watch out for it. And I'm very excited to sit down and tell some stories with him because we got some good ones. I appreciate you sitting down here and listening with me. Or listening to me, excuse me. But I enjoyed this. I'll catch you soon.